This other experience was kind of embarrassing, honestly, but I'll still share it anyways. So like, I was in this other world, and I don't think it was the one from my past life. It was like some other world I hadn't seen before. It was kind of this forest-like area that was also kind of open in a way. But like, there were no trees. There were only big, tall mushrooms. And I decided to walk forward through it. And I was walking for a while. But at one point, I looked to my right, and there was like a dragon there, like a real dragon, bro. It wasn't scaly for some reason, though. It was like all fluffy, mostly light blue fur with some darker blue stripes here and there. And it wasn't really as big as I would have expected. It was more like 3 washing machines tall, if you know how tall a washing machine is. Um, so I approached it slowly and carefully because I didn't want it to attack me or anything. But I don't think I did a very good job being stealthy because the dragon raised its head to look for what made the sounds that I was making. And it said something that was really hard to understand. It was like 360p speech. I couldn't parse it. But it didn't run away, which was weird. Um, so I got curious if I could use my shapeshifting to not look like an outsider. I tried to focus on the dragon and shapeshift into it. I kind of thought it'd be cool to at least try as well, you know. I knew it worked before I even opened my eyes because I couldn't stand on 2 legs anymore and I fell over. Uh, I took a moment to like feel out the body and take a good look at myself. I looked just like the other dragon that I saw. Um, but while I was doing that, I noticed that the other dragon spotted me and seemed like really surprised or something. And I started to approach it, which wasn't easy, by the way, because like it's so weird to walk on all fours. I think I tripped a few times. And as I approached, it just kind of stared at me. I thought it'd be scared, you know, because I looked exactly like it, and that's kind of weird. But it didn't run away, and it actually raised its tail at me. At first, I didn't really know what was going on, but like some kind of instinct or something just clicked in me, and like I realized that it was inviting me to mate with it, and I realized that there was something starting to poke out of some hole between my hind legs and it just kept like poking further and further out. And at that point, I remember moving more quickly behind it and standing on 2 legs and leaning over it and putting my thing in its thing, which was when I found out it was female because defo couldn't tell before that point. And glad I didn't too, because that meant I didn't take that on too with my shapeshift. But yeah, anyways, it was like the instincts were kind of putting in like at least half the work and my movements. Like it all just kind of happened naturally. And uh, Dwayne, you talk about the all natural environment a bunch, so I kind of figured this is just a part of that. But it's still pretty embarrassing. And like before I even realized what I was doing, the instincts led me to start. Oh God, thrusting into the other dragon. Honestly, bro, it did feel really good, but don't quote me on that. I was making weird growly noises too. It's like it just kind of escaped my mouth. It's not what they are in dragons' mouths. Never mind. Anyways, the other dragon was kind of lowering the front of her body to the ground at this point, and kind of whimpering. And I guess I was leaning further over and thrusting harder and faster, which I think should have been really tiring, but it kind of didn't feel tiring at all. So that was kind of weird. Uh, I guess I was like really into it or something. So it's so weird, man. Uh, Eventually, I climaxed and roared instinctually, which felt pretty good actually. And that's when I finally felt tired. the other dragon was panting, and I was panting, and she said something that I knew for some reason meant "thank you." Um, but as soon as I caught my breath, I felt really embarrassed about it all and clumsily continued walking down the path that I started with as quick as I could. When I finally got out of her view, I shapeshifted back into my human self, and thankfully I had my clothes on again, because if not, that would have been extra weird. And then I kept walking and walking through this mushroom forest, and that's all I can remember. It was a really, really embarrassing one, man. But I wanted to make sure I'm honest and open with you dudes.
Well, it's not so much about that, Eric. That's funny, but again, what you're experiencing is what these individuals that have those body types, and just like the human body type, experience too. Yeah. In other words, you take on those faculties, those ideas, those urges, etc. And I would say that the female dragon or whatever, yeah, she was, she may have wanted the experience too, to maybe have a child. So again, see, you're doing things, now you're conscious of this in the other worlds, but most people aren't. Your other bodies are doing those things, just like what you're experiencing, and you're probably many times doing things like that without your conscious awareness of your personal self here, you see? So that's really a terrific experience, very, very exceptional. And of course, you tell the average person that, they're not going to buy it. They're going to think you're funny, or that's a cute story, or you're nuts, or whatever. It just depends upon what idea they're looking through, just especially religious people, because they have been so bombarded with nonsense that they see everything so distorted, etc. And so again, it's finding somebody that understands that, but it's okay. You did the experience, you had it. You have to do things of a particular, and to realize that, no, that's not what I want to do. Okay, so you're experimenting, you might say. So yeah, it's a little funny, embarrassing, whatever, but you get through it. We've all been through all this stuff, etc. And it's okay. But no, that's a very, very exceptional experience. That you did that in shapeshifts, and Kevin likes to do that too, etc. And it can be done. I can do it, etc. But I don't do that realistically unless I have to. But again, you decided to do that, and that's an experience. You just don't want to get caught up in it, okay? Because it's about awareness. These are just things that you're having experiences with as you're going along, and to recognize it. And so whatever world you're in doesn't matter. It's another place in creation, just like where we're at right here, etc. And so again, you are the decider of how you want to approach this and the experiences that you're wanting to have. So the new you is opening these portals in your intuition for you to explore. And again, always watch your intent. You want to learn what your intent is, because that's your real awareness and where you place your intent. And so as you go through creation, you're going to come across many things, and especially the influence of others are always going to try and persuade you into something, especially those people that like to control others. They're going to provide all kinds of interesting, provocative, seductive scenarios to get you involved and entrapped, and to enslave you in certain ideas, etc. This is where a lot of the tap lining comes in, etc. So just like in your first experience, Rebazar is warning you. That's just one aspect of it. There's many, many aspects of it. And so again, making our way through creation is huge. But your experience there, hey, it took a few moments. You did it. You decide if you want to be a shape-shifting dragon. You can do that for as long as you want. Or you want to become more aware and get to the real universes, you can do that too. That's the bigger picture. But These are just things that you're learning along the way. And really what we learn in creation, and we have to learn it, is what not to do. That's why it takes so many lifetimes to get through this, because we need to gain a lot of experience so we can see what not to do compared to what life is. But the big challenge is recognizing that reality that all is. You see, because it already is, and recognizing it compared to creating something in creation. But we need this creation. So again, you're going along, and it's your intent along with, if you intend to recognize what's real, so you have a comparison as to what not to do that limits your ability to become more aware. You see? So it's an experience. It's okay. Everything's okay because you're the decider and you can have whatever you want. You see? You
You
did
know what?
good.
If it's okay, gosh dang, that felt real good. I just need to get that off my chest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. So the idea is that if something bothers you, whatever it is, you know what? Just stop your mind, your emotions, face it, see it for what it is, because here now, it's nothing, it's done, it's nothing. Just recognize the fact that it's nothing, and you don't have to carry it, you don't have to consider it. You're always new now. Isn't that cool? Yeah. You don't have to carry nothing. You don't have to feel guilty with what you did or whatever. You have to face it, make it up, pay the bill, whatever. You just face it, do it, because it's all nothing. Yeah. This is what's so cool about your real awareness. It's not interested in what it's done. It's only interested in what it's doing. And that is being real and wonderful without restriction. That's your real awareness. And you decide how you're going to recognize that. Like the sun shining. There's your fountain of youth. You know, look at kids, look at children. They don't consider things like adults do. They don't have plans to destroy and poison the world. You know, they're just wonderful. They're innocent. They're awesome. That's how life is.
Mm-hmm.
It's innocent. It's awesome. And it's that every single moment. Sincere, real, awesome, anything that's wonderful. Like the sun shining, that's what it is. You don't see the sun. There's no intent there to destroy or harm or hurt or pollute. No, it just shines. That's how life is. That's how a real life is. And then look at what's going on in the earth. What a bunch of friggin' nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, compare it. Compare the two. You want to stay here? You want to be in this jungle with a bunch of idiots and agree to all this stupid stuff? Lifetime after lifetime? It's all friggin' nuts. Look at the sun shining. What do you need to know? When you're totally wonderful all the time, you don't need to know anything. Look at all the know-it-alls. What do they know? These are the people destroying the world. Now you're starting to see it, aren't you? It's that subtle, but it's right there. It's right there with you all the time. And you decide, you might say, how far you want to see it, how aware you want to be. You want just a little bit, a little knowledge. It's like, oh, I know this. Oh, gee, the sun's shining and the world's bad. Oh, I know that. And then you just go on with your routines. You grow old and you forget. Is that what you want to do? Or you want to become more aware and more wonderful? More, yeah. And leave all this nonsense behind. And wherever you go, everything lights up. Everything's wonderful. And nothing can touch you anymore. Nothing. Because all the so-called evil and the darkness, it's all by itself because you're light. And you don't see any darkness anymore because all you see is light. And there is no more darkness because you've recognized how to be aware.